My name is Jamie Rhee, and I have the privilege of serving under Mayor Lori Lightfoot as the Commissioner for the Chicago Department of Aviation, or the CDA. Thank you. What a great day to be here at O'Hare. Before I get into my remarks, we've actually prepared a short video highlighting the phenomenal improvements here at T5, so please enjoy.
Welcome to Terminal 5. Since 1993, it's connected the world to Chicago, and Chicago to the world, serving nearly 12,000 passengers each day from all 6 inhabited continents, arriving from more than 70 international destinations. T5 puts the world in our world-class city. Now, in 2023, an expanded gateway built by Chicago for Chicago. 10 new gates, vaulted ceilings filled with light for panoramic views from the sky to the skyline, filtered for comfort with energy-efficient smart glass, with daily non-stops departing to 63 domestic destinations, and more space to lounge and treats to eat. A $1.3 billion renewal from curb to gate, built by local firms that embrace diversity. T5 meets the needs of the 21st century traveler and sets the stage for the next phase of the transformed O'Hare. Welcome to the new T5.
All right, how about that? And thank you to Jeremiah Paprocki, the voice of Wrigley Field, for getting us hyped up this morning. Jeremiah, thank you so much. Stand up and wave to everybody so they can see you, please. Come on, stand up, Jeremiah. Woo! So we are so delighted to have all of you here today with us to celebrate this very special occasion and reminisce on the journey of Terminal 5. Before we get into the bright and the shiny details, I'd first like to take us back to 1985. Before this terminal was built, when Michael Jordan was the NBA's Rookie of the Year, the Super Bowl Shuffle was at the top of the charts, and John Hughes was capturing the life of suburban Chicago with films like The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 1985 was an exciting year here too. The city of Chicago opened O'Hare's International Interim Terminal, Terminal 4, to accommodate the growing international passenger demand and to create the space needed for construction of what is now Terminal 1. The interim Terminal 4 was constructed on the first floor of an existing parking garage, but by 1987, plans were already underway to construct a new permanent facility dedicated to international traffic. In May 1993, with the investment of $618 million, International Terminal 5 opened. The state-of-the-art dramatic curving roof. We fondly look back at that time with gratitude for our ongoing partnerships with our airlines, because without them, this terminal then and now would not have been possible. When it opened in 1993, this terminal was built to accommodate 61 million passengers to 30 international destinations. Fast forward to 2019, we were processing 83 million passengers to 73 international destinations. Given that growth, our groundbreaking couldn't have come at a better time. And look around you. This $1.3 billion expansion and renovation project has brought the once state-of-the-art building back to its original glory. This expansion is part of our O'Hare 21, our multi-phased program for the long-term future of O'Hare. O'Hare 21 is designed to transform the passenger experience from curb to gate while meeting the needs of the traveling public throughout the 21st century. We're the second busiest airport in the world, with 680,000 takeoffs and landings last year. Let's give ourselves a round. And I remind Atlanta, they don't have snow. To remain a global leader, we must continue to invest in our terminals and our airfield. Here in Terminal 5, the talented firms of HOK and Muller & Muller fulfilled the vision of a light-filled redesign of Terminal 5 that maintains the integrity of the 1993 original design while modernizing it for this century. The L-shaped east extension includes gates that are fully adaptable, allowing us to park 3 narrow-body aircraft in the same space that we could only park 2 wide bodies. The extension also functions as a town square for a whole host of concessions and entertainment options. As you can imagine, it's difficult to upgrade an airport terminal at one of the busiest airports in the world. And while the pandemic hit the aviation industry hard, it did allow for T5 construction to progress more quickly as travel demand dropped in 2020 and decreased the demand for gates. I'd like to thank Austin Power Partners for taking advantage of that opportunity, demonstrating resourcefulness and creativity while leading this effort and listening to all of our stakeholders. And especially thanks to our mayor, who allowed this vision to move forward, and not just move forward, but expedite, if I recall what she said. These developments are a proven way to support job creation, economic stimulation, and capacity building for all businesses of all types and sizes. Under Mayor Lightfoot, the CDA continues to focus on not only what we're building, but who will be doing the building. The firms in our program management, design, and engineering team reflect the diversity of our great city. So what's next at T5? In May of last year, the City Council approved the largest set of concession agreements at O'Hare in more than a decade. And we aim to fill it with local Chicago offerings, from Butcher and the Burger, Sparrow Coffee, Bar Sienna, Hampton Social, and many, many more. All of these exciting new concession offerings will be open throughout phases in 2023, so look out for announcements from our team. And as beautiful as this clean and white interior is, we thought it was important to give passengers a colorful, dynamic, and welcoming impression of our city. And what better way to do that than with local art? DK's Commissioner Aaron Harkey will step up to the podium shortly and tell you about the $3.5 million in public art planned as a part of this expansion, the city's largest single acquisition of works by Chicago artists in 3 decades. This project is a triumph for Mayor Lightfoot, for O'Hare, for our airline partners, and for the entire aviation industry. I'm so proud of the team that is gathered here, especially the hardworking men and women of CDA who every day come to work to do their best. And none of this would have been possible without our valued airline partners, our federal agencies, the Federal Aviation Administration, elected officials. I know Alderman Nugent is with us today. I would like to thank her for all her support. And the other members of the City Council Committee on Aviation, and the numerous city departments that support our airport's work every day. Thank you all so much for being here today. It means the world to us. And now let me turn it over to my boss, our mayor, Lori E. Lightfoot. Mayor, come on up.
It makes a difference who runs your airports. O'Hare International Airport is one of the greatest assets that the city of Chicago has. Something that generates, obviously, lots and lots of jobs, but also has to be a good regional partner with our neighbors around O'Hare. It makes a difference who makes the decisions and what their heart is about procurement opportunities to make sure that we continue our promise and our commitment to build wealth. So it makes a difference who is the leader of this great, vibrant airport that puts Chicago on the map, and as you heard in the video, connects O'Hare to the world and the world to Chicago. We have a gifted leader in our airport commissioner, Jamie Rhee. Make no mistake about it. So to Commissioner Rhee and all the hard-working men and women of the Department of Aviation, everything that you do every day, a lot of it unseen, but felt by our passengers, by our concessionaires, by our city, to make this to be the great economic engine that it is for the city and for the region. I want to personally thank each and every one of you for your hard work. I want to thank you to all the city leaders, airline partners, and of course the men and women who designed and built this incredible structure. I am really in awe. It is stunning and beautiful. Having traveled through the old T5 many, many times over the years, on my way back from one destination or another, this is incredible. It is big, it is wide, it is bright, it is welcoming, and we are lucky to have this work done here. So when I first took office in 2019, construction on T5 had just begun. And now, less than 4 years later, we're marking a major milestone by celebrating this new, improved, and expanded Terminal 5. Despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, which was riddled with many travel bans, supply chain issues, and a myriad of other interruptions, we were still able to complete this project. And on top of this, the construction work for T5 happened while airline operations continued out of this terminal as airline service was expanded to better connect Chicago to the world and the world to Chicago. And keeping those connections active during construction undoubtedly paid off, as Chicago remains one of only 5 cities to offer nonstop passenger service, get this folks, to all major inhabited regions of the world: Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, and South America. All of this is to say the completion of this Terminal 5 has positively impacted O'Hare and the rest of our city and has transformed this space significantly since it was first created 30 years ago. These are accomplishments that undoubtedly deserve to be celebrated, which is why we are all gathered here today. And as many of you know, the success of our airports directly impacts the city of Chicago and the rest of our region by providing jobs and contracting opportunities, as well as acting as a catalyst for roadway and other infrastructure improvements. This is a little major city that is under the banner of the Chicago Department of Aviation, but has such tremendous reach and breadth across our whole region and across the Midwest. By providing jobs and contracting opportunities, as well as acting as a catalyst for roadway and other infrastructure improvements, our airports have become essential to the economic health of our region. And further, our airports continue to serve as gateways to Chicago for domestic and international travelers. That's why Chicago's responsibility, our collective responsibility, to provide modern, welcoming, and accessible entry through our terminals. And let me tell you what I hear when people come to our city for the first time, and really their first taste of Chicago is our airports. Here's what they say: wow, this is an amazing city. I had no idea. Yes, it is. So it's our job to make sure we continue to spread the word. As one of the busiest and most well-connected airports in the world, O'Hare continues to grow and transform to not merely meet but exceed travelers' expectations. This is made possible by our work to provide more amenities and better connections. The City of Chicago and our airports are deeply committed to creating and providing jobs and business opportunities for residents and contractors alike. This will not only help foster Chicago's continued economic growth, but also provide stakeholders with an opportunity to invest in our airports and the rest of our city. That engagement from our stakeholders also plays a huge role in our ability to make capital investments like the T5 expansion through collaboration with our airline partners who are essential in this work. And I want to thank all of them again. We couldn't do any of this without the support and confidence of our airline partners. Increased travel options and competitive fares, and meaningful partnerships between contractors and minority and women-owned firms. Many of you know, no secret, this is near and dear to my heart. We have to be about building wealth. We have to be about making sure that we're creating new opportunities for people that haven't had the benefit of this work to be here at the table, and you're going to hear from one of them in a moment. We are able to ensure that the capital improvements we make at our airports address the needs of airlines, businesses, and travelers alike in an equitable and inclusive way. And speaking of equity and inclusion, I'm proud to share that T5 project was guided by these North Stars. Thanks to Commissioner Reed's leadership, assistance from local and federal initiatives, and the support of Chicago City Council, Our Department of Aviation exceeded diversity and inclusion goals for this project. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you should and must clap for that. And let me go into more specific details. By working together with our Department of Procurement Services to create opportunities for local and women and minority-owned businesses to participate in the design and construction goals established for this project, the CDA has ensured that Terminal 5 will have an equitable economic ripple effect on the rest of our city. For starters, Austin Power Partners, which is the construction manager for the project, dedicated $167.3 million toward 114 minority-owned business enterprises and $31.9 million towards 67 women-owned business enterprises. That's got to be a record. I don't think we've ever done that before. And as a result, the Terminal 5 project achieved a 37% participation rate. 37. Our goal as a city is 26. This is 37% for certified minority-owned and women-owned and disadvantaged businesses. The garage portion of this project was also guided by our North Stars of equity and inclusion, as 18 of the participating 78 contractors were minority-owned firms and 17 were women-owned, helping to achieve 31% completion rate for MBE and WBE firms. And excitingly, this equitable approach has also been adopted in the Terminal 5 concessions program as well. So you see a theme here? We build it in an equitable way, we service it in an equitable way, and we keep the wealth generation going. So in the concessions program, we'll pave the way for new food, beverage, and retail operations across this development. These new concessions coming online throughout this year will allow us to achieve an airport concession disadvantaged business enterprises participation rate of 40%, exceeding all goals and inclusive of many local small businesses. Furthermore, the Racial Equity Action Plan, the city and the CDA will increase outreach to employ Chicago residents from underserved and disadvantaged areas. Everyone must participate, because when we all rise, we all rise. That is something I'm extraordinarily proud of. And this will be accomplished of reaching out to residents by creating an airport employment guide, hosting airport expos and digital recruitment events, and of course partnering with other city departments and agencies to get the word out about good jobs and business opportunities in the aviation industry. O'Hare and Midway are two of the city's biggest economic engines, which ultimately have the most meaningful impact when they drive success and prosperity in communities that have been underserved for way too long. Again, I want to thank Commissioner Reed and her team for leading the way and making sure that equity and inclusion are not just words, not just a mantra, but delivered in concrete, tangible ways. And I also want to thank, again, our airline partners for staying the course in Chicago. The airline industry, as you know, has been very hard hit, but it's rebounding. And it's rebounding because of partnerships, the ones that we have put in place, the ones that we've advocated for at the federal level. Our airline industry here in Chicago is coming back stronger than ever. And last but not least, I want to thank all the labor and construction leaders, and especially the workers, for talent, expertise, and hard work that created this enhanced business today. Now, with that, it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium a leader who's been inspiring black and brown workers to get involved in the construction trade. Jimmy Akintande, President and CEO of Ujamaa Construction. Jimmy, come on up.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jimmy Akintande with Ujamaa Construction. We're a small Southside black-owned business that's been doing some amazing work in our community and given the opportunity to work on this great airport. We've been working in the aviation department for over 10 years now. That started with the construction of CONRAC, and we've done many more projects to date. Austin Power Partners, bringing the very best of national aviation expertise with Austin Industries, an amazing organization founded over 60 years ago. Power Construction, a Chicago-based general contractor that represents the very best of our city. And an amazing opportunity for Ujamaa Construction to join the joint venture partner. Austin Power Partners team has worked together now for over 10 years, and as an MBE, we've gained a wealth of experience that's unmatched. Working on projects like this, it's important to understand that the construction is not primary. The airport's got to continue to function. We cannot inconvenience anyone. We face the construction to meet O'Hare 21's airport demands, turning over multiple gates, Delta Club, and several other aspects of work, making sure that there was no downtime with the retrofit of air handling and electrical systems. We had a great design team on Mueller & Mueller, HOK, both firms dedicate to getting the very best outcome for the city of Chicago. The mayor's talked about some of our great, amazing DEI accomplishments that we made on this project. I always say, when the ownership interest believes in diversity and equity for all, and opportunity, and pushes in that direction, we as construction managers, we accomplish amazing results. In our beautiful city with an amazing mayor, Lightfoot, and Commissioner Ree, and an entire department, insisting that this project represent all of Chicago. The true diversity of our city, what makes all of us tick, a true representation project with no excuses for cost, schedule, quality. We achieved some pretty impressive results. Austin Power Partners' mission to work in a collaborative strategic partnership to provide exceptional construction services in a social responsible way with MBEs, WBEs, DBEs, and local trade union and workforce organization. We accomplished this with what we call a 5-step outreach approach, working with the different assist agencies that the city has, working with different advocacy groups, working with community outreach, education, training, government relations. We were successful. We have been successful with business diversity, demystifying O'Hare 21 aviation construction. Aviation construction is slightly different from what we encounter every day, and it takes a long time to just get people to understand there's nothing to be scared of. Some of our results: over 123 MBEs holding 202 contracts, 77 MBEs and 46 WBEs, folks that look just like me. Combined contract value of over $247 million. 28 MBE primes, contract value of over $123 million. The contract goal of 26 and 6, we're trending at 27 and 8. Now, we also include workforce diversity, making sure that we bring people from all communities into this construction process. We had over 47 new hires. New hires, workforce that had not worked in aviation previously, and now they can not only work now, it's a lifetime position. We did it by going to these assist agencies, doing mock interviews, career counseling, site visits, teaching in classrooms, doing whatever it takes to continue to drive economic impact in our city. APP strategic partnership strengthens the Chicagoland economy by deploying contract opportunities to marginalized business owners employing underrepresented tradesmen. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot and Commissioner Ree, for giving a diverse business like ours the opportunity to add to Chicago's landscape with this great project. And I hope you're equally as proud as this moment as I am.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Muller, and I am the president of Muller & Muller, the architecture firm that designed the wonderful space we're living in, or sitting in today, sorry, hopefully not living in. I want to first and foremost thank the Chicago Department of Aviation and the Commissioner for the opportunity to say a few words today. We at M2 have a lot of people that we want to thank, which I'm definitely going to get to, but I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment right now with all of your attention to tell a very quick story. I had the pleasure of flying out of Terminal 5 Extension a few months back. It was right as the gates had first started to open. As I sat waiting for my flight, I was admiring all the hard work and effort that this entire team and the city of Chicago have put into this project. I was thinking about the fun we had working with HOK, TY Lin, and Millhouse on our interview process. A lot of late nights and a lot of good snacks. I was thinking about the hard work that the whole team put in during the early days of COVID to adapt and deliver so that we could all take advantage of the global travel slowdown. I was also thinking about the walkthrough that I went through, where the control tower wasn't even enclosed, where I got to stand and see the founders of our business stand in awe of the expanse that we are standing in today. It was a really fun moment for me to reflect as the flight at my gate had started to disembark. Personally, I am a creature of observation, which is my very polite way of telling you all that I am a people watcher. And there's no better place to watch people than an airport. It's a fun and special moment watching passengers, especially these particular passengers. Some of them are certainly local, others probably visiting, and coming out of the jet bridge to a beautiful new space for the first time. There were so many smiles, heads on swivels, couples looking around, but what really stood out to me and caught my eye was a small boy. He was probably only 6 or 7 years old, but his eyes were wide like saucers, and he was tugging at his dad's sleeve, and he was just looking around, and he said, "Dad, look at this. It's so pretty, it's so big, and it's just so cool." It's really, really special to see a place that we have all or a space, I should say, that we have all dedicated so much time to really start to come alive and become a place. It's a testament to the pure and utter joy of travel, which in the fog of delivering a project, we all might sometimes forget, but we are all such an integral part of. Having the privilege of working with Mayor Lightfoot and the Chicago Department of Aviation to execute their awe-inspiring and, simply put, so cool vision for the expansion of Terminal 5 has been nothing short of an extraordinary experience. It's bold and exceptional projects like this that help to ensure that O'Hare International Airport and the city of Chicago remain a global hub of travel and commerce well into the future. We cannot thank Mayor Lightfoot and the CDA and the Commissioner enough for putting their trust in our team to see this vision through. It's also critical to thank our industry partners for their tireless efforts. We would not be standing here today if it weren't for all of them. Our partnership with HOK began as we discussed the initial RFP and has continued to blossom and grow. And we are forever grateful that Terminal 5 has brought our businesses together. Our partnership with TY Lin Engineers spans decades, and we want to thank them for their continued support. Their extra efforts in the early days of this project, getting the civil package up and running during the pandemic, was critical to the success of this project. We'd also like to thank our minority and women-owned business partners, Millhouse Engineering, Garza Karhoff Engineering, and Singh Engineering. As a women-owned business ourselves, the trust that Mayor Lightfoot and the CDA put into women and minority businesses of Chicago that have led this project is critical to the continued support and growth of the entire local M and WBE community. And of course, a huge thank you to BNP. They're our baggage handling consultant, and they've helped us to navigate the underworld of this terminal and the world of baggage as a whole, which is wild. Lastly, a thank you to our traveling public. Our team has had the privilege of creating Place Out of Space for you and being a part of your travel experience. It's a privilege that we all take incredibly seriously and that every one of us is extremely passionate about. As we celebrate and explore this incredible accomplishment, I hope we all take a moment to appreciate the passenger that finds awe and joy in the place that we've all had such a hand in helping to create. Thank you all.
Hello. Thank you, Kate, and thanks to Commissioner Rhee and her team for hosting us here today and for their ongoing partnership. Integrating complex and intricate artworks into large capital projects like this one is not an easy task. It's actually kind of hard. And so thanks to you both and your incredible teams for making sure that we had a seat at the table during this incredible project and for helping us make our artist dreams a reality. My name is Erin Harkey. I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, better known as DCASE. And DCASE supports artists and cultural organizations, invests in the creative economy, and expands access and participation in the arts throughout Chicago's 77 neighborhoods, all of which aligns perfectly with today's T5 celebration. I want to take a moment to thank a person that I cannot thank enough. Thanks to Mayor Lightfoot for her vision and her commitment to arts and culture. Under her leadership, DCASE has been transformed as an agency, and the City of Chicago is funding and supporting artists and culture in a way that it has never had before. In 2022, we received an unprecedented investment in DCASE, which increased our annual cultural grants budget from $2.7 million to $12.7 million, and we awarded more than 630 grants across 7 programs, a 25% increase over the previous year. Also in 2022, the Mayor's Together We Heal Creative Place program invested $5.5 million in art that supports community healing and transformation across Chicago. And our public art program continues to see record growth. We've committed over $6 million for public art in West Southwest neighborhoods. And this also includes what brings us here today. As part of the T5 expansion project, DCASE has partnered with the Department of Aviation to commission the city's largest single acquisition of works by Chicago artists in the last 30 years. This $3.5 million project presents a unique opportunity to invest in Chicago artists and creative workers while providing international visitors with a dynamic and welcoming first impression of our city. 19 commissions featuring more than 20 artists that represent the breadth and diversity in our city are planned across 3 critical sites: the International Arrivals Corridor, the Baggage Claim, and the Passenger Level Concourse. Their pieces will be completed and unveiled throughout 2023. Before we share a video so you can hear directly from a few of these artists in their own voice, I also just want to take a moment to recognize the talented and dedicated DCASE staff that are expertly guiding these projects through, Lydia Ross and Joanna Goebel, and our artists and curators here that are present with us today. Would you please stand and be recognized? I see some of you. I can't thank you enough for all you do. Thank you very much. As the mayor has said before, supporting our arts and culture scene is essential to our ability to thrive as a city, both on an economic and social level. We are proud to continue to support the artists and creators who bring us beauty, culture, and experiences that make us human. Now I'd like to turn your attention to the video featuring some of our T5 artists. The full list of commissioned artists is listed on postcards being distributed today, and I think you guys are also getting these very cool buttons that are by Mayumi Lake, who is one of the artists that's featured in our projects. And their stunning works and progress are also shown on the boards that are behind you throughout the terminal. So now for the video. Thank you so much.
We have arrived at O'Hare International Airport. Welcome to Chicago.
DCASE has partnered with the Department of Aviation to commission the city's largest single acquisition of works by Chicago artists in the last 30 years.
My name's Gina Valentine. The title of the piece is A Murmuration, which is the word for a flock of starlings. I think that this commission is also really exciting because we love Chicago, even though we're relatively new here. It's been 5 years, but it feels very much like home.
My name is Chris Papan. My installation in the International Terminal is titled The Meeting Place. For me, the most important thing is accurate representation of Native American people from this place.
I'm Leonard Suryajaya. I am from Indonesia originally. I want to present a vision of this city that I dream about. I want the viewer to come to a sense of feeling invited to see Chicago.
My My name is Mayumi Lake. I am from Osaka, Japan. The piece, the title is Shinsekai Yori. In English, this means from the new world. So it's not moving as a viewer walk. It creates a movement.
My name is Jonathan Michael Castillo. The project that's being installed at Terminal 5 in the baggage claim is a project I've been working on for some time about immigrant-owned businesses in the city of Chicago.
We hope that visitors feel welcomed, feel represented, and feel inspired to explore Chicago's neighborhoods, communities, and culture on their visit.
What a great video. Thank you so much, Commissioner Harkey. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I invite the rest of you to join us for a short reception to my right. And if you're able to stick around for the reception, please proceed to gate M37 for a ride back to the parking area. If you're not, I'm sorry. Thanks again for being here, and to the millions of future travelers who will soon make their way through these new international terminal hallways, I say, welcome to Sweet Home Chicago.